Welcome to your lab activity, your first lab activity for Thermoplastic Resins Lab. This will be your recycling scavenger hunt. So I'm going to walk you through the Canvas module that goes over this lab activity. First, for every lab activity we do, we have the overview. So please take a minute to look at the overview, the objectives, and then the steps to complete before you dive right into the module. In the module, you have your lab activity. So this explains why recycling is important, the different types of recycling, so post-consumer versus post-industrial, and then it gives you the procedure that you'll need to follow for your lab. You're going to find 3 of 7 types of plastics identified by recycling codes, and these need to be 3 different types of packaging. In other words, 3 different symbols. And once you've found those, take a picture and insert those into your lab summary and then answer the questions. Identify the recycling symbol, identify the type of packaging it came from, and then identify the type of plastic used in that packaging. So, in other words, if it's polystyrene, you're going to write polystyrene, and then in parentheses, put PS. Don't just put the abbreviation for that polymer. So here we also have a supplement. This is very similar to the recycling codes that were presented at the end of Plastics in the Environment lecture. So these are just copies of that to give you background on the recycling symbols. So here we have the different types of packaging. So 1 is PET, 2 is HDPE, 3 is PVC, 4 is LDPE, 5 is polypropylene, 6 is polystyrene, and then we have other. And so here's some explanations of what type of plastics are usually found in those. And that should be something that you comment on when you are writing up your lab summary. There are a couple links here. This is some videos on how recycling actually works, and then the identification codes and uses and recycling. This is your lab summary. So these are the questions you're going to be asked. What are the different plastics used for different types of packaging? Strength and toughness are not the only concerns when selecting plastics for packaging. Name 2 more and explain why they're important. So don't just name the other factors, but you have to explain why they're important. And then this is where you're going to put your pictures of your packaging and then explain what type it came from and then what the polymer is that makes it up. And answers 3, 4, and 5. Like any of your lab summary worksheets, these are worth 25 points apiece, so be sure to answer each question completely. Each question is worth 5 points. So this is your first lab activity. Make sure you complete your lab quiz online and make sure you upload your lab summary by the appropriate due date and time. Please let myself or your teaching assistant, if we have one, know if you have any questions about this. See you next week.